Joseph Broz, architect of the Yugoslavian Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia on April 7, 1963. He was an authoritarian prime minister and eventually president of the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia.
Overall, Joseph Broz's rule retained peace, though nationalist protests did occasionally occur. They were usually repressed, and nationalist leaders were arrested and sometimes even executed by Yugoslavian officials.
In the 1970s, an economic crisis occurred due to borrowing vast amounts from the Western capital in order to fund growth through exports. The Western economies, in turn, entered recession and blocked Yugoslavian exports and then created a huge debt problem.
The largest concentrations of bankrupt firms and layoffs were in Serbia, Bosnia, Macedonia, and Kosovo. This created within the population an atmosphere of social despair and hopelessness.
After Joseph Broz's death, ethnic tensions began in Yugoslavia due to the rise of nationalism in all republics. Croatia and Slovenia demand looser ties within the federation. The Albanian majority in Kosovo make a demand for the status of a republic, and Serbia makes a demand for absolute domination in Yugoslavia.
In 1986, the Serbian Academy of Sciences and Arts sets a memorandum for Serbian sovereignty in its heavily influenced state of Kosovo. It began the largest Yugoslavian republic in territory and population. Its influence was reduced by the 1974 constitution and the Serbian leader, who then tries to end the pre-1974 constitution and succeeds in reducing the autonomy of Kosovo.
As a result, the ethnic Albanians in Kosovo organized a series of strikes supported by Slovenia and Croatia for their struggle in formal recognition. These strikes later turned into mass demonstrations, angering Serbs' leadership, which then proceeded to use police force. The first of the conflicts resulted when Slovenia declared its independence from the Federation on June 25, 1991. This resulted in a conflict called the 10-Day War when the federal government ordered the Federal Yugoslavian People's Army to secure border crossings in Slovenia. In reaction to this, the Slovenian police and the Slovenian Territorial Defense blockade barracks and roads, leading to a standoff around the republic. The conflict, leading to several dozen deaths, was finally stopped through negotiations through the Brani Accord on July 7, 1991, where Slovenia was granted independence and the Federal Yugoslavians were to leave Slovenia.
In Croatia, similar events occurred when the Serbs in Croatia were opposed to Croatian independence and announced their secession, and as a result, fighting occurred. The Yugoslavian People's Army was predominantly staffed by Serbs and therefore sided with the Croatian rebels. The border region faced attacks from forces within Serbia and resulted with the destruction of Vukovar and the shelling of the World Heritage Site in Dubrovnik.
In January 1992, the Vance-Owen Peace Plan proclaimed UN-controlled zones for Serbs as the Republic of Serbia and brought an end to major military operations.
Yugoslav armed forces opposed Bosniak's government agenda for independence and, along with other Serb militant forces, attempted to prevent Bosnian citizens from voting in order to prevent them from legally being able to secede.
Then, in June 1992, the Bosnian-Croat War broke out, being considered the most bloodiest and widely covered of the Yugoslavian conflicts. Bosnia's Serb fraction was led by Radovan Karadzic, who promised independence for Serb areas of Bosnia. He did this through genocide and forced removal of Bosniak populations. In 1994, the NATO airstrikes and the Bosnian Serbs were able to negotiate ceasefire and an end to the Bosnian War conflict with the signing of the Dayton Agreement on December 14, 1995. As a result, the Federation of Bosnia was formed.
With the signing of the Dayton Agreement, the aftermath of the conflicts led to 100,000 people killed and missing and 2.5 million people displaced. The Serb defeats in Croatia and West Bosnia allowed Croatian and Bosniak refugees to return to their homes, but many of the refugees are still nationally displaced today.
As a result, all the new countries became independent.
What do you call a small man in a subway? A metro, though. Because it's in the subway, so it's metro. It's small because it's a gnome.
I really don't get it.
You get it.